channel. Today we're going to look at Star Scrapers Orbital by Hexy Studios. And this game is designed by Jacob Frexelis. And if you don't know that name, then you have never played Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars is probably the most popular game I have in my collection. Everybody loves to play it, though I am a little bit partial to the Ares Expedition just because of the ease of play and a little bit of quicker game. But I do love Terraforming Mars. It is a great game. Anyway, let's go down to the table and take a look at the box and unbox this thing, and then I'm going to go off and organize it, and then we're going to play it. So hang on to your hats and let's get ready to blast off into Star Scrapers Orbital. So here's the box, Star Scraper Orbitals, Jacob Frexelis, Hex Studios. It is 60 minutes, 1 to 5, and 10 plus. There's the back of the box. You can see it has a lot of information about the game itself. Become a space station commander in the distant galaxy. And the game is basically about building a space station. So we're going to play it from a solo perspective. I have had a shot at it on Tabletopia at one point or another, but let's take a look at the physical components. Let's get this box open. As with most morning early videos, let's challenge ourselves with the shrink wrap. Oh gosh. As you know, if you watch some of my unboxings before, you know the shrink wrap is always a bit of a challenge first thing in the morning. That went off pretty well, and we put that in my magic pocket and get yelled at from my wife for forgetting that it is in my pocket when she goes to do the laundry. Ooh, that's a little bit of stick. Okay, let's see what we have in here. We have the rules. So we have some introductions going on. The component lists. Looks like we have the upgraded core modules, markets. And we'll go through the setups in the game rounds and the important concepts. Here's the solar rules here. And looks like how to play, basically. Or we can play the peace version. I don't know what that means. Here we go. Here are the various and assorted counters. I have no idea what they are or what they do. We will find that out in a bit. Oh, we have all our little meeples. Our space meeples. Look at that. They look like space guys. Look a little closer when I open, but they're like little spacemen. That is so cool. We have cards. These are look like Euro style. Little on the small side. Let's take a look at the font. Oh my God. Okay, so I know they probably, I don't know why they're using, probably for table you use the smaller card size. Now the problem is, of course, that for guys like me who have a little bit of eyesight issues now and again, it's going to be a bit of a struggle to read that, but we'll muddle through. Here's what looks like the start of your space station. The final frontier. And inevitably some box. Hey, they've taken the FFG formula of throwing everything in a box and throwing you some bags. Oh, cool. Now, I was talking to one of my local gaming store owner, and he says the reason why they do that is because there's not a lot of components here. So they put them in this huge box, but it's just for shelf presence, really. That's it. Because if not, we could have stuck the whole thing in a box like this. This game would fit in there, and I would be able to travel with it. Not that I couldn't travel with this, but why such a big box for such a little game? Because you can have this big, huge honking, pictures and artwork and stuff. But that is what's in this box. We're going to take a little closer to everything in a moment. But first, I'm going to go off and sleeve the cards because I am a compulsive sleever, as you know. So I'm going to go off and do that and then come back. Well, hello everybody. We are down at the table and we are going to look at Hexy Studios Star Scrapers Orbital. We have unboxed it now. We are going to, as I like to say, unbox it. So I have taken it to the table. Now I did buy the sleeves for this and the rules are still on top. I have taken that nasty insert out. And you can see there's really not a lot to this game in terms of, components now, compared to the box that had that little wee insert in the middle. First of all, there were some sleeves that I bought that came with the game. It's a good thing too. These are off-size sleeves, 55 by 77. These are not standard sleeves. These cards are a little bit smaller than the standard European. So the standard European is around 55 by 89 or 90 or something like that. And these ones are 55 by 77. So they are significantly smaller. So it wouldn't have been a fun thing for me as a compulsive sleever. I've bought these. These are interesting. I bought these off of Amazon. These are really just bead boxes for beads. And they were cheaper than geek boxes. And I like them. They come in different sizes, which is nice. So you can see that I can use different sizes for a few tokens versus a fair bit of worker tokens. Or as I said, here are our astronaut tokens. And they look like astronauts. I really like that. So as we continue our re-unboxing, you can see here are the actual core stations. As you can see, there are two sides to the station. This one is the core station, and this is where you start. This is where you go from, and you build your station out. This is for one of the two solo modes that are included in this game. What you're going to do here is just track cards. So this is the peaceful version. You take out all the events, and what you're really just doing is going against the bot building the station, and this bot does nothing but collect cards, and each card gets marked on this, and then you're trying to compete against just being the best for each section, because that's how you score in this game. You're basically going to score by having the majority of any one color against your other players, whether it's the whether it's the competitive game or one of the two solo modes, the peaceful mode or the competitive solo mode. And we'll talk more about the solo modes in a moment. And then here are cards. There are tons of cards. This is not a surprise if you've ever played Terraforming Mars. There are a ton of cards. And there they are there. There are two types of cards. Basically, there are modules, and there is a module card right there. And you can see basically that this is the living quarters, and it really just gives you another astronaut to play with during your turn. And then this is a life module, and then you can see here that there's a double arrow, and when you play, you're basically going to build out like this. So you're going to place that double arrow against your module, and then you can see here there's three other areas in which you can build out on. And there are events. So bureaucracy, remove one unused astronaut from each opponent's orbital. And then let's just see here. And then there's cards like this that tend to be a little bit more powerful. But the problem is, of course, it tends to close off one of your areas, because you can see that you have a double arrow here, but there's no way of getting out. So you're going to tend to want to do something like that, because it's going to cap off. Now, you cannot ever cap yourself out. That is one of the rules in the game. So you're always going to have to leave an open space. So you can't have 5 of these modules around here and then totally screw yourself. So you can't do that. So aside from the astronaut that comes with it, these are basically your victory point counters. They come in 5s and 1s. Typical, and some 2s. We have these are your victory point markers, the greens and reds. The greens are 5s, the reds are 1. This is your money, or mega credits. For those who are familiar with Terraforming Mars, MC, as they're lovingly called. We have a first player marker. I don't know why we have 2 first player markers. And then we have destruction or damage tokens. And what happens is you might get damaged, and then you can play 3 MC to get rid of it, or wait till the end of the turn. The MC or the the damage markers are not removed until the end of everything. So you can't score it or gain any benefits from that module if it is damaged, and then you repair it. So you can play 3MC during your turn to repair it, or you can wait till the end of the turn, depending on how you feel about that particular module. And that is everything that's in the box. Now, one of the things in the box, of course, is you have a handy reference. If I could get it out, there's a handy reference in this little baggie here. There we are. And it just kind of gives you a little player aid. It tells you the kind of things you can do and what you do at the end of the year. And then down here are our upgrades to your core modules. That's your turn marker, so you can have 5 turns. There's a turn marker. And then you have 5 different modules based on each color. And basically this is first come, first serve. It counts as one of the colors. So you're going to want the majority here. You're going to want to take one as fairly early because the game is only 5 rounds long. And there are some symbiosis here, like the purple is very military, and orange says you're immune to damage. So, if you're going after a purple strategy, which is to really screw somebody, then somebody might want to get lucky and grab the orange one. So there's some symbiosis around that. So those are the kinds of things you're going to play with. Now, I am thinking, as far as a 2-player game goes, that would work. The problem is you might collect off different modules and try to avoid, fighting over a third module, which would be, I got 2 out of the 3, and then whoever has the most of the 3 is probably going to be the victor. And then there's a lot of luck, of course, like Terraforming Mars, depending if you can get your engine going, and, somebody could be left in the dirt. Now, I would highly recommend playing the competitive bot for a 2-player game, and that just adds a little bit of uncertainty. It's probably not going to affect the score much, but what it'll do is just keep you on your toes a little bit, and then there's a chance that the bot might actually do something. And so there's the idea of the competitive bot from the solo game, and you can put that into a 2-player game, and I think that would be my preference, that you would play a 3-player game. Or if you're going to play 2, put the bot in. That's just my thinking. Haven't played it multiplayer yet. My game nights have not been totally put back into play at the moment. The group that does it is still down. I'm not sure when we're going to have game nights again. The territories did tighten up again in the early January with the rise of the Omicron. And I can only hope that hopefully this will start to loosen up maybe in the next week or 2. And then again, of course, the rules. I mean, you can see there is the solo mode, there's the peaceful bot there, and then there's the competitive. It's kind of really a bot in the traditional way where you're going to flip cards. It really is giving them 5 cards, flipping a card over, and then just running down the rules that says, can you do this? No. Well, if you can't do that, do this. Can you do that? No. If you can't do this, do this. In a kind of a priority order. It's a shame they didn't put it on a card. This is easy. There are a number of rules here that go down the solo mode, but it should be on a card or perhaps a sheet with a flowchart. I'm speaking from a developer point of view, or a business analyst, which I am, that a little flowchart to find. Now, we've got something like a flowchart here that says, if this is the way we're going to do stuff if we're going to trigger something. However, it doesn't really run down the rules here. And they could have done that on the back of one of these things and says, oh, well, if we can play the card, play the card. If you can't play the card, try to do this. If you can't do that, try to do that. And they didn't do that. So there was an missed opportunity there. Now, I have their other game. Now, I hear, what is that? It's Cave-In, and I hear it's a bit strange. And we're going to probably look at that a little bit later, but right now we're going to concern ourselves with Orbital. So here's the setup. Now, I've taken my tokens and I've put them at the top of the table within easy reach, as you can see. I've taken myself a bit out of the picture. One of the things, I'm playing in a very tight space, and there's really not a lot of room to put my little portrait at the bottom, so you're just going to have to pretend them on screen and you're watching me. I am playing up here. This is a bit different for me because of the shininess of the lighting that I have here. it was getting washed out a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that you could see clearly what was going on. And so here is where I'm playing from. And you can see I have the first player marker, and it will move around to the left. I have dealt out 5 cards. The bot gets 5 cards. Each of us gets 16. And we're just going to follow the best we can through the manual. So if I pick up the manual, it's not because I'm not really knowing the rules so much as I'm really just trying to follow along in the book the different actions that we can take. Now again, the ultimate goal for us is to beat the 2 competitive bots, and they are going to collect modules and still get a score of, you know, around 18, 20 points, and beat these guys, because they're going to collect points too, but they're not going to collect points, you know, quite as the way we will, because they're not a good builder. And really, this is all about building. We will lay out. There is no market in this game, so the 5 cards you get are the 5 cards you get. There are mechanisms to allow you to draw cards, and we're going to try to get that so that it gives us more choices. But basically, like the bots, the choices we have are the choices we have. So that's the setup. We each have 16 MCs, mega credits. We have the upgrades. Now, there is no mention in the rules, solo rules, around upgrades for these guys. I think what's going to happen is that if they can't do anything else, they're going to buy an upgrade into the majority of the color that they have. So if they're picking up something, then we will try to scoop something first based on whatever we have in our hands. So we're going to probably want to get to that. Now, one of the things we all do, actually, and I didn't do that, is we each get a astronaut. There they are. I'm going to lay him down so you can actually see him. Now, they are kind of washed out colors, aren't they? So I've placed the astronauts on the table as well. I kind of forgot to do that. So we've done that. Everybody starts with 1, and we're going to just go off and start playing. And we're starting on our first turn, and we have 5 rounds. I don't know whether we can go 5 rounds. This game will tend to sprawl a bit, and I don't know how much more room, but we can adjust and take things out of range if we need to, sort of push things down a little bit. And I do have some room to maneuver here, but this is basically what we're going to do. We'll take these out and adjust as we can. So here are my cards. These are the 5 cards that I have. Now I have an event. Malfunction, to damage the same module twice. I don't have a module. They don't have a module. Beyond repair, remove a damaged exterior module from the orbital. The owner gains 2 mega credits. Again, we don't have really much to go. Sabotage, damage 1 or 2 modules on an orbital belonging to a player with more victory points than you. Well, there's nobody has victory points yet. So really, I have military command, so I can play an astronaut plus 2 mega credits to build a military module for free. Normally, modules cost 6, and military modules, of course, are purple. Junkyard. That's a good one. Play an astronaut to gain 1 card. So we really don't have a lot here to go on. So we may want to get to a core module fairly quickly and then try to get that way. So until they start building modules, I really don't have much in my hand to go by. So this is going to be an interesting hand. So what's going to happen is I'm probably, well, I could get a discount fairly quickly on that. And we got a lot of stuff in my hand I really don't want. I'd rather have a mega card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the junkyard. Now the junkyard, you can see, has its entrance, but has no exits here. Oh yeah, they have 3 exits. So I'm going to just build my junkyard for 6 mega credits. And we'll just put that off to the side. There we are. And that is what I've done this turn. So I have built the junkyard. Basically what we're going to do is go to our left, which is this way. No. If I was standing that way, it'd be this way. So we're going to go this way. And the first thing he does is he's going to build a module and it's damage any module. So he is just he's going to build it up here, and he's going to spend his 6. We're going to. His card is a module as well. It's the Junkyard. Discard 1 card to gain a mega credit. So it's basically the same card I have. And you can see there it goes. And we'll put 6 there as well. I think what we're going to do is move him back, right back to here. There we go. So we can get a little bit more room. And then it comes back to me. I think at this point I'm going to buy a module. That's 4 mega credits, and I'm going to scoop the military module. The military module lets me connect, when connecting a military module, gain a mega credit. And we'll just put that there. And that's what we're going to do this turn. We're going to come over to here, see what happens here. Uneventful year, an opponent discards an event card from their hand or shows a hand with no events. So he's going to target myself, of course. He can target the bot, but because there's no... Generally, you would target the guy with the most victory points. Nobody has victory points. So I'm just going to say he's going to target myself. I will have to discard a card, an event card. And just put that event card. I got rid of that damage. Okay. We're going to come over to here. We're going to turn over our card. He has strategy chip. Choose a player. The player loses a mega card and discards a card. This is a module that has no exits whatsoever. So he is going to spend a mega credit. We're going to come across here, flip over another card, and it's a blue. It's a lab. It says draw 2 cards. There we go. So he is going to go 6. We'll come back to myself. Now I have no more credits here. Whoops, that's the reference cards. So, oops, I did I not? Oh, I bought that. Now I don't have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to spend my last mega credits. Actually, I would spend 5. Because it's a military module, and because I have a purple here, we're going to do that, just like that. He has another module. He can build the module. So I think what would be more interesting is he would use his last one, and the majority for him would be this red one. So let's say that he is going, just to make it interesting, so all his modules are immune to damage. So he's going to play 4. Sorry, he's going to play 4. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to do the same thing for basically him and 6, 6. He went 6, 6, which is 12, 4. Actually, he would be totally out of credits at this point. Come across to here. He would do the same thing. Since purple would go, he'll take the blue module. I just like to get the idea of get these modules out. And this blue module says hand size +1. So we're going to give him 6 cards next turn. We don't need these anymore, so let's just put these out of the games because we can only upgrade once. It is my turn. The only card I can play. So I think what I'm going to do, I only have 1 credit left. I'm going to take my astronaut and I'm going to remove this card to gain 1 mega credit. We're going to come over to here. He's got another module. He cannot play the module. If he cannot play something in terms of a card, he would just put it away for 2 mega credits. Again, the same for him. He would get 2 mega credits. He should have no credits left. It comes to me. I really have no other move I can make at this point. So I would pass. So I've passed out. He's going to turn his last card over. He can't build this module. He'll take 2 mega credits. He'll come over here and He can't build it, so he's going to get 2 mega credits. And then we're going to come over to here. And he shouldn't have any cards left as far as I know. Because he would have gone 1, 2, bought that. And he wouldn't have any more credits left. So he would have gotten rid of all his cards. So he should be in his place. Somewhere I screwed up. I have 1 card left. I can't do anything with it. They're going to come along to here. Now he will use his astronaut. And they're always going to start from the interior on this side. Now let's take a look at the book, and I will show you exactly what he's going to do. As you can see, there's the module. Here's his facing. So he's going to start interior. 1, 2. So he's going to come over to here and play this module. It says draw 2 cards. So that's going to extend his turn just a little bit more. Can't do anything. This player can't, but he can do a couple of things. He can discard 1 card to gain a mega credit, or choose 1 player to lose a credit and discard a card. He says that's fine. Player A is going to go with the player, because it should always try to do the player first. I'm going to have to lose a card and a mega credit, and that pretty much finishes me. We've come over to this bot. He can't play this card, so he's going to take 2 more. But he has a life module, which he can play, which gives him 4 astronauts. So he's going to just go over here with it. He's going to spend his 6 mega credits. And that is basically the end of the turn. We have no more cards. Everybody must pass. We are going to reset basically everything. We have no market to remove, because normally we remove the market and get rid of all those cards. Our astronauts are going to come back. The round marker is going to go up 1. And then we're going to be into production. So basically what's going to happen is we're each going to get a base of 7 mega credits. And then what's going to happen is we are going to do our majority of colors. We're going to get 7 mega plus the majority. He would pick red undamaged, so he would get 2 more. I would get 2 more. And based on this, 2 more. Now if he had 3 blue, we would get 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to deal out more cards. So we got 1, 2, 3. Oh, and I forgot to do the victory points. So the victory points are the majority. So we have a red majority over here, so he is going to get 2 victory points. We'll just put it on that card because that card goes nowhere. We're going to come over to myself. I have the majority in purple, so I will get 2 victory points. We have majority of blue plus the majority in green. So actually we have 3 victory points over to our bot. And that is how you do victory points. It's as easy as that. So I'm trying to build an engine, and I'm a little bit behind right now. So we're just going to put those cards here, those cards here. We're going to move to the left, and it is our bot's turn. The bot has a module, robotic arm, rearranged the orbital following the commercial rules. Now they don't actually use this, and if he puts this off, he's pretty much going to close himself off. But he can't close off his, so he's going to go here, because he still has an exit here. So obviously we still have some room to go. So we're going to play our 5, 6 here. We're going to come to me. Oh, we're going this way, so it's actually the other bot's turn. He has an event. Inside content, take any card from the market to your hand. In his case, he just draws a card. So that just extends his turn out. Comes to me. Now the one thing I should have checked is to see if they got an extra, anybody gets an extra astronaut. Oh, he gets 3. He gets actually 4 astronauts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the way you tell if there's how many astronauts there are is basically on the card. Let me see if I can find one here. I don't have, there it is. So you can see here in this module, right down there, that would give you an astronaut. So you will count up every one of these, and in this case 1, and then 3 is 4. So I'm liking this one. I really stuck, but to draw a card. Okay, so I am going to spend 6 for this module. It's a blue module, and we'll just put it over here for now. Now the reason why I didn't discard any cards is because I draw a full hand of cards at this point. So one of the rules is I can only draw 4 cards, and I had no cards, so I'm going to randomly remove one of the cards here as well. There we are. So I've played a module. It's going to come around to our bot here, who has another module, which is fine. He does not have 6 credits, so he's just going to put that away for 2 credits. Going to come around here. He has a module. He has 6 credits. It is a living quarters. You can see that it's less powerful than this one. Generally, the rule is the number of exits. If you have more exits, you're going to have a less powerful card. So he's just going to build that there for 6 credits. Comes back to me. I only have 4 credits. So I am going to play a Meteor Storm. This is an event. I'm going to target this bot, and I'm going to damage 1 or 2 modules. So I'm going to damage this module, so he can't use it. Not that he will. And basically this module right there. So that is the end of that turn. We're going to come across here. We're going to draw a card. Recycling Center. He has no money to do that. He's going to basically just grab 2 credits. It's going to come around to here. He's got a module. He has 6. It's red. He's just going to build it up this way for 6. Now you can see he's got a majority of red token. And then I'm going to come back to me. I only have 4. So I'm going to come and use that to discard one of my cards. Phew, I'll do that one to get a mega credit. He's going to turn it over. He has a Galleria to gain 2 mega credits. He really only has a couple places to go, and it's basically here. We'll adjust this in a minute. So he's going to spend his 6 to put his module out. Sooner or later, he's going to start activating these things. Okay, we're going to come around. He doesn't have 6, so he's going to just buy 2. Comes to me. I really can't do anything. So I'm going to have to pass. His last card, he can't play, so he's just going to put it up. Comes to our 6 modules. That's good. He is going to, he can build it this way, from here to here. Now you can see red. Now, what I should have done is said that when you're playing the same color module here, you're actually going to save. So actually, he's got 2 more. And when he built this one, he actually, so the rule is, it would have cost me, I built this one module, and then when I added this, when I built that module, I would save 1, and because I connected it to the red one, he actually would have been saved 2 more. and then this would have been the same one. So we are down one. So we need one more. So we actually have enough to build that module. That's good. Come to me. I've already passed. I have nothing I can do. He's got no more cards, so he's going to start to trigger. This versus, let's just say, rearranged. He's not going to do that. He's going to come here to gain 2 mega credits. We're going to come over here. He's going to play his last module. And the only place he can put it is there. So as you can see, based on the rules, I would be -1 plus another -1. So he's only going to play 4 mega credits for that. You can see how it starts to sprawl so quickly. I'm still passing. He's going to come around. What he's going to do, if he has nothing else he can do, he's not going to really do that action. So for 3 mega credits, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to repair. It comes back to this bot here. He has nothing to repair. He is going to start here and choose a player to gain and loses a mega credit and discards a card. He goes, well, Harry, there you go. So I will lose my module, and I was hoping to build that module. We come back to me. I've got nothing. He comes back to here. He doesn't have enough mega credits to trigger that. He is done. We're going to come back over to here. And he has nothing to do as well. He is done. That is the game. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he repaired that. So he'd come over here and draw 2 more cards. So pass. He's back to this player. The first module, he's going to build a green, but he doesn't have enough. So he's going to get 2, and he's going to get 2 more modules. So he's going to actually wind up having 6 more credits at the end of the game. The first player marker is going to turn move. Let's follow along the bouncing ball here this way, because we don't do it out of order, because we kind of did that. So the first thing we do is award victory points. So for the majority, if you tie, you each get a victory point. So they tied on green. We have lots of red here. So he gets another victory point for having the majority of red. I have the majority of purple still, so I'm really just getting 1. Oops. He's got a majority of blue. He's got a majority of yellow. Yep, so he's going to get 2 more points. So we're going to take a 5 and take 3 away. So he has already got 7. So the next thing is replenish market. We don't play with the market in this game. We banish the crew, or replenish the crew. Our crew members all go back. Do we have any more than the 4, 3, 4? No, we'll come over here. We have 1, 2. So he gets an extra crew member. Right now it stands that we have 7, we have 3, and 4. Without the market, though, this game, the solo game, at least for this particular game, is very, very tough because I can't get an engine going. If I can't get an engine going, the game is just going to sprawl out for the bots, because the bots can do just about anything they want to do, and I'm constrained because I can't go to the market to buy a card. So I think we're going to leave this here. I think this really just gives you a really good idea of how this game plays. This is the solo version. And so we've gone through sort of the solo version, basically where basically where the bots just turn over cards and do the actions, and then as they run out of money, they'll put their astronauts out, they'll repair modules, things like that, and they're going to build out. And you can see how fast this guy was able to build out with the red. And now he would get double at the end, so there would be 3 more rounds. But at the rate I'm going, I'm going to wind up with no victory points at the end. And really, I would have to concentrate on a single color. But let's go up. Let's talk about the final thoughts of this particular solo version of this game. So what do I think about Starscraper Orbital? Now, first of all, I'm not too keen on this solo version right here. it's way too much luck in terms of the card draws. Without the market, you're really at a disadvantage to the bots, because the bots can build as long as they have credits, and when they don't have credits, they can either do something nasty to you or just run and get some more cards, get some more credits. And if in this case where 25% of every one of the events is cards or event, it's pretty unlucky of me to wind up with so many events that I really couldn't build anything, where they are building out very, very quickly over 2 turns. You know, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they've been able to build 3 in 2.5, and I've only been able to do basically 3 in the 2 turns. Now that doesn't mean my luck won't change, but the engine building here is a little bit lacking in the solo game of the competitive. Now the non-competitive version, or the peace version, is really just building out. You take all the events out, you can put the market back in, and basically you're just playing to build modules, and they're just keeping track of the number of modules that basically they're getting. You're going to deal 3 cards, those are the modules, and you're going to be scoring against those, trying to surpass them, building an engine on that. And we may give that a try, and we may add it to the video, do a separate video. So there's a few weaknesses here, I think, in the Orbital solo version. I think the fact that there's lack of market. Now, one of the things you could do is still play with the market, and then maybe have a random dice thing that says, or a random card that says, get rid of this. So I think, like many games, I think an Automa deck would have been better. You have those same actions, but basically maybe have those 3 actions, and here's your priority action. Can you do that? No. Well, then do this. No. At the very least, you can get rid of a card in the market. I think the market takes out the flexibility of me to be able to buy a card when I have no modules to play. But where this game I think is going to shine is in multiplayer. I think if you're playing with 2 or more, I still think you would want the bot, really just to build. I don't think you need to go out and, and he may play some events, but really just to build out. And I think this would be fine if in a 2-player game, because this would really be bothersome to the 2 players. And that's fine. But on a solo thing, you really don't want to be up against something that's just going to outstrip you, as it did me. So this was not as enjoyable as I would have liked. The components here are great. Fraxis did a good job. I mean, we have the wooden astronaut meatballs. Upgrades would have been nice. I mean, the mega credits look like terraforming Mars. No surprise there. We have our tokens. They're all functional. I don't think this game was particularly expensive. I'll go back to my Kickstarter and look, but I think it was only $40 or $50, which is probably about right for this game. Sorry, it's just early. But I think solo-wise, this is not a game I'm going to put out as a solo game. I'm going to try the Peacekeeper one. Maybe we'll put that up and do that quickly this afternoon when I play, and we'll record that and put that out in a separate video. But as far as the competitor version, after 2 rounds, I have no will to really keep playing, because I can see here already that I'm starting to be stripped out, and because of my lack of the modules, I mean I'm really. I've got 1 point this turn. I've got 3 points to his 7 points, 6 points to his 4 points, and I'm always going to be behind the 8 ball, because there's no way to catch up on red unless I get a lot of red. This one has a mixed bag so far, but I mean he's ahead in blue and he has a head in yellow, and green he's tied with. So in reality he's got 2. He actually picked up a 7 point with the green because he's tied here. But that is all I'm going to say about this. I wish I liked it better, because I really was excited to try it for the solo mode. The regular rules are just about the same, except they add the market, which allows you to buy cards depending on the space. So you only get 5 cards out every round. And so you do not put more cards into the market till the end of the round, which means that's after all players pass. So if somebody buys from the market gets a little bit cheaper. So the card farthest away gets one mega credit. The closest to the deck is 5 mega credits. And if you take a card out, depending on where it is, the cards are going to slide over, and just get cheaper from 1 to 4. So that's how that's going to work. So that's the only basic difference here, other than the fact that players are going to make their own choices here. So that is all I'm going to say about this. If you like what you saw today, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate that when you subscribe and say hi and active on the comments. Hit the like button. I'm doing this out of order. And of course, notifications if you want. As always, use the comments. If you want to get a hold of me, please feel free to comment and we can start a conversation on YouTube. Find me on one of my Facebook pages that I hang around in, which is basically Board Games for One, Board Game Revolution, Solo Board Gamers, the board game group, and Everything Board Games. Those are the 5 main boards, but I'm around in a bunch of other board game that are a little less active. Congratulations to Board Game Revolution. They've hit 50K. That's amazing. I joined when it was less than 5. So good shout out to Mr. Thomas Covert, who has done a fabulous job in growing this channel with plenty of giveaways, interactions, engagement. He is a taskmaster when it comes to engagement. I mean, on one of their forums every day they're posting, trying to get people to post onto the site with different activities. So there's daily things they're asking, weekly things they're asking, trying to bring you into the family, bring you into the engagement. So I highly recommend, if you're not on Board Game Revolution, to get out there and go out and join Board Game Revolution. Beyond that, that is it for me this morning. I'm going to go have a coffee. I'm going to play a little Borderlands 3 because I am still a nerd enough to play a shoot 'em up first person. Borderlands 3 is an amazing game. Maybe I'll do a video of it, just me playing the old guy with the twitch reflexes, which aren't that good, but this game is good. Borderlands 3 allows for that a little bit, so it's a little bit forgiving, and so I'm really enjoying it, and it's quirky, and who doesn't like quirky? So that is it for me. My name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. This is the North of 60 Gaming channel, and I will talk to you all later. And what I think about it, one of the advantages in the multiplayer game, and I think this would shine in a multiplayer itself, is the fact that the setup is about less than 5 minutes. It's really just shuffle some cards, give everybody their core module, and open up the token boxes and start playing. The game, over 5 rounds, if everybody knows what they're doing and nobody suffers from analysis paralysis, probably will be less than an hour, depending on the number of players, of course. A 5-player game might take a little longer, which would be a lot more fun, because if you're talking about damaging military models, I could see where there'd be a lot of annoyed people at the end of the game, especially with events. There's plenty of ways to keep this balanced. So it's also a 5-minute put away. I'm just putting it away now, and I'm just thinking, geez, I got to tell people that this is a very quick game to put away, even if I'm putting tokens in the wrong box. So if you're looking for a quick filler, this is not a bad gateway to. I mean, it's a gateway to other games similar to this, tableau building and module building. It's a unique perspective, kind of it's unique game in building out this, because there are a couple games, I think, like Among the Stars, I think, where you build modules and try to build your space station, and same with well, maybe not Galaxy Truckers so much, but there are games similar to this where you're building a tableau. And so really what you're doing is you're building your tableau and you're building your engine to try to get more mega credits so that you can buy more modules. So that's really what this game is all about, is be able to get your astronauts. And so the game is self-regulating, I think, in terms of score. I think the scores are going to be tight and close, and I really appreciate the fact that when you're playing games that you're not out of the game at any point, where you feel like, oh yeah, like I did here when I was playing the solo game, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm 2 rounds in and I'm already out of the game. And then you're just playing competitive solitaire against bots who don't know anything, but they're belt stripping you because they just can play stuff and you can't. So I think, again, this game is going to shine. It's a great way to bring people it's a great way to bring people into the gaming industry, basically because is a great way of bringing people into the gaming hobby, because we have the International Space Station, we have all this stuff going on about building space stations and building environments on the moon and Mars, and certainly modular ways of doing that. And this will give you a good idea of this. I have played Intrepid. If you haven't played Intrepid, that's a fascinating game. It's based on the International Space Station as well. It's a cooperative game, and it's a lot of fun. This isn't competitive. This is not cooperative by any means. It's really just who can build the most modules and the most colors after 5 rounds. That's just basically what it is. But I think this game is going to shine in